Yeah, and I've got friends who are managers and coaches still, and I've got lads who are younger than me who've retired, but I still feel good. I get up each morning and I'm grateful to not just obviously play football, but to be alive as well. And I'm fit and healthy and I look after myself a lot more. And I've got a hunger, passion and desire like I had when I was a 16-year-old kid wanting to play football. So when that leaves me, that'll be time to hang the boots up. But until then, as you say, I feel good and I still think I can offer a little bit on the football pitch. So as long as I'm feeling good and I've got a bit of passion and desire, and as I say, I love the game still. Obviously, that's my main thing and why I still play to this day.
The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, very warm welcome to the VAR Show. The show which talks about all the various major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to connect him with interviews and we have the former Morecambe Football Club player, Mr. Kevin Ellison with us. So without wasting much time, I would like to first thank Kevin for coming on the show. Thank you and welcome to the show. And I would like to begin by asking you, how are you and what are you doing these days?
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be on. It's great to speak to you, especially obviously on the other side of the world. And these days, I'm just literally into my yoga and my meditation, just waiting for the football season to start and see where and what club I'm going to sign for next season. I'm still 41, but I still feel good, so I'm going to continue to play.
Definitely. And so as you mentioned, you are 41 now and you have played across quite a lot of clubs in England and a lot of big clubs in there for quite a long time. And how has the journey been for you?
It's been amazing, really, as you say. I think I've had 13 clubs, which is like people say I've had more clubs than Tiger Woods. But it's been unbelievable, especially when I left school and I went on a building site and done work there and then worked for a year or so and then in the end signed in the English Premier League for Leicester City back then. So yeah, it's been surreal, and sometimes now when I sit back and look at it, I think how grateful and how blessed I am to actually have played professional football for so long, and as you say, for some big clubs as well.
Definitely. And as you said, you are looking for next season and you are 41. So what drives you to go play at this age when many of your colleagues who are at your age are managers or coaches?
Yeah, and I've got friends who are managers and coaches still, and I've got lads who are younger than me who've retired, but I still feel good. I get up each morning and I'm grateful to not just obviously play football, but to be alive as well. And I'm fit and healthy and I look after myself a lot more. And I've got a hunger, passion and desire like I had when I was a 16-year-old kid wanting to play football. So when that leaves me, that'll be time to hang the boots up. But until then, as you say, I feel good and I still think I can offer a little bit on the football pitch. So as long as I'm feeling good and I've got a bit of passion and desire, and as I say, I love the game still. Obviously, that's my main thing and why I still play to this day.
Definitely. And as you said, your friends have been manager. Do they avoid you because they have to hire you or something?
Yeah, and I think we have a bit of banter and a bit of a laugh and a joke with them, and they know all my weaknesses and my strengths as I know theirs. But there's two of them are very close friends who grew up in the same area as me as children. So I'm quite happy and really blessed to have them as friends, especially when they're doing so well. One of them's at Plymouth Argyle, who's manager there, and he's been unbelievable the last couple of years. He'd love to still be able to play, but unfortunately he's not fit enough. But yeah, he's earning his corn another way and he's enjoying it, and he's a very good up-and-coming manager.
Definitely. And one thing that you play in the winger section, and that's generally associated with someone who has speed, and probably you lost your speed when you were young to now. You would have obviously decreased in terms of acceleration. How do you adjust your game?
Yeah, I think, as you say, as you get older, you do lose a bit of speed. And if people have been watching FIFA, you'd have seen me on a Zimmer frame, walking around on the Zimmer frame like a pensioner. But you do, as you get older, I think it's not so much you lose your little couple of yards over 5 yards or so. I think that's the biggest thing which does go. But along with that comes experience, and it's the knack of being in the place at the right time. And I think I've found that in the later years of my footballing career. Yeah, I might have not be as quick as I was when I was 16 and 17, but I've got the experience now, which only comes with being mature and being around football for so long, and being 41. It's been in the right spot at the right times.
Definitely, and like I'll touch on a more darker topic, that is like you opened up like how you were in, you fought against mentally. Your mental
Yes.
health was not good, and you had to fight a battle, which was not known to many people. So how did you deal with it?
It was tough. I dealt with it on my own. Obviously, lived with me children's mum at the time, and I was suffering for like 8 years or something. And it was one I was building up inside, and I didn't really deal with it as good as maybe I could have done or I should have done, or to realise how easy it was. And now when I've spoke out and obviously seeked a bit of help from people, and I know how easy it is to speak out, and I deal with it now by obviously my meditations, my yogas, stuff like that away from football. And I found myself relaxing a bit more, where I used to be continuously on the go, basically to stay fit and to keep proving people wrong to continue to play.
Definitely, and you said like it was difficult for you to maybe speak out. What can be the reason? Like maybe because, is it as a society as a whole we do not talk about the subject? Is it something like that?
Yeah, I think it is society and the world as a whole. I think me speaking out, I was in fear of people judging me and thinking I'm a weak person, and then I'd be worrying, well, if I speak out, will the football club give me another contract next year, because I only had 12 months contract, and how am I going to support the kids? I've got 2 children who I need to feed. I'll have to, obviously, so that was the whole reason why I never spoke out at first, but I'm glad I did in the end, because the response I got was amazing, because it's not just me. There's people out there who feel the same, but have a bit of fear of speaking out and won't speak out because the scare case people will say certain things about them and judge them in a way.
Definitely, and like you mentioned, you played for a lot of clubs and a lot of great clubs. But if you had to say that, if you had to choose one club where you enjoyed the time the most, which one would that be?
I'd probably say Morecambe, because I've been there the longest. It's been 9 seasons, and for me goals return, as you say, I'm a left winger, left midfield, and for scoring goals as such, it's not one for really scoring goals. You're meant to create them, but I've scored an awful lot of goals, and I'm the second leading scorer in the English Football League in that division. I'm the club's record scorer in professional football. So I think when you look at it as a whole, I think Morecambe Football Club's probably the best way I've played me best. I've scored the most goals, and I've definitely enjoyed it and played with a smile on my face, which is the most important thing.
Definitely, and like since you have played in a lot of the lower leagues in the English football, and the pandemic has hit the clubs a lot badly, like in the lower leagues compared to the higher leagues. And what do you think, like how much has it influenced you or maybe people around you?
It's definitely influenced me and teammates, because I know myself, I haven't signed for a club yet, where if this was last year, I'd probably had a new club now, and I'd probably be back into football training pre-season. But as you say, the pandemic it's not just affected football, it's affected everybody in every walk of life, which is unfortunate, and people have lost their lives. So me and you are here still talking, and we're alive, so we're blessed, and I'm grateful to be here still. But as you say, footballing wise, I think it's had a massive effect on football, especially down the lower leagues, where you see the Premier League continue to play. They can afford the test and stuff, but the English Football League at my level couldn't afford the COVID testing weekly, so they unfortunately had to stop the league. And then they're looking at it now, the clubs are not getting any income because there's no supporters coming into the football ground. So they're looking at littler teams, littler squads, littler budgets next year, which is going to have a knock-on effect, and which will affect me moving forward.
Definitely, and you mentioned like you played and you enjoyed your time at Morecambe the most because you played 9 seasons there. How difficult is it, like to move on from a club where you have spent so much time?
Yeah, I think it's been a real difficult one for me, because as you say, I've been here 9 years, and part of it's been part of my family type thing. And then I took over for a couple of games as manager, and I've given an awful lot to the football club, and it's given an awful lot back to me. And as you say, it will be strange, but I think with this pandemic and the COVID happening at the minute, and everyone's been locked at home, I think it's made it a little bit easier, because people weren't going to work when I couldn't go to work. So it's slowly adjusting me away from life at Morecambe. So I'm ready for my next challenge and can't wait to get going.
Definitely, and like you started playing, I think the 1996-7 season, and it's
Yes.
2020, and like you have almost played for around 3 decades now, like almost 3 different decades. And how has the game changed? Like when you started to now.
I, I think it's got more um, technically better. I do think that. I think it's got a lot of more fitness, but fitness in a way where you wear your heart rate monitors and your GPS monitors, and they obviously track and trace everywhere you step on the football pitch. But I think as a whole, it's more together now. Where in the old days, it used to be like you come back pre-season, it'd be run there till you drop, till you get blisters, till stuff like that. And I think it's a lot more organised. I think it has gone a better. Football has moved on a lot, and I think it's gone better. But I also think that some of the older, as you say, from 2 decades ago, some of them traits and how football was then still need to be implemented moving forward, because they are the base and the hardcore of football.
Definitely, and like on a personal level, are you superstitious? Like, do you have a routine or a superstition that you follow before games?
Yes, always.
What is that? If you could share.
I have to drive a certain way. I have to have certain food the night before of a morning, certain breakfast, certain dinner time. And then get to the football club, I have to be sat in a certain place. I've got to put my left stuff on before my right side. And I've got to be, my last one is always walking out last. I have to be the last one of the team walking out onto the football pitch.
So, just out of curiosity, is it just a placebo effect, or is it something you actually believe on?
I believe in it, especially when I think when you start doing certain things and it works and you score a goal. I think you go back to that and you think, oh yeah, I scored another goal. So then all of a sudden you forget it and you think, oh, I haven't scored. I'll have to get back to doing me little bits and bobs. But as you say, could it be placebo? I think doctors give obviously patients tablets and not really tablets of the placebo thing. So whatever's good for you in your mind, if you think it helps you, it's definitely worth taking and definitely trying 100%.
Okay, and talking of goals, like you said, if it gives you confidence, then well and good, you should do it. Whatever gives you confidence. And talking of goals, like which goal do you maybe look up in YouTube that you have scored and you like the most?
I like me one for Morecambe versus Rochdale a few years back on YouTube. I think that's on there. It's a volley from about 35 yards, which I quite like. And then I like me volley against Exeter City a couple of seasons ago. I think it was about 2 seasons ago. And that was another volley on the left-hand side into the far corner. I think when I look at them goals, I think like people probably say I'm not as blessed technically as some players, but when I look at them goals, I think if Zidane or Messi or Ronaldo would have scored them, they'll be on YouTube every day.
Definitely, I have not watched the goals. I'll probably watch it after this. And if you want a footballer, what would you have been?
Oof. I'd like to be a postman, I think. I don't know why. I don't know. When I was a child growing up, I think, for whatever reason, I don't know, a postman. Probably people ask me and I think I'm a bit mad. Why would you want to be a postman delivering people's letters and stuff like that? But I don't know. It was something as a child when I was growing up I found and took an interest in, if you get me.
Definitely. And like, do you have plans to get into coaching anytime?
I've done my coaching badges, got my UEFA A, and I'm starting my UEFA A license next week. I've got my UEFA B and a couple of youth modules. I still want to play, so regarding coaching, I think I will do it, and I want to get into it after I finish playing football. But I still think at the minute I've got a bit to offer playing football, so I'm open to stay in that capacity and not go on to we call it the dark side, the coaching, because none of the players talk to you when you move over to that side. So coaching-wise, yeah, I will eventually do it, and definitely. And as I say, I'm all gears and ready to go forward towards it.
Like, since you have already done your coaching badges, to some extent, and do the coaches where you have played for Morecambe especially, do they feel threatened when you are there around?
I think so, and that's why I'm unemployed at the minute. I honestly believe that's part of the reason why I'm unemployed at the minute, because I become coach for a little bit before the new manager come in, and I think he's seen me as a threat because the fans like me, the lads like me, the chairman and stuff like me. And when he come in, I don't think he could grasp that how good I did the job before him, and how well people liked me around the football place. So I honestly believe that it did impact me on leaving Morecambe Football Club, which is a bit sad, really, because that wasn't me. I still wanted to play, and I could have helped him a lot, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. But that is football, and that happens in football in England especially. So it is what it is, and we have to move on.
Definitely, and like talking of that, since you're there and you managed for a brief spell, and did you realize during that brief spell that you managed that what type of coach that you are? What is your philosophy that you want to play?
My philosophy, yes, I did. I had a philosophy that I thought about and obviously worked on when I do my coaching badges. And then when you're thrown into the deep end and you're managing in the Football League, everything's just going all 100 miles an hour. So the main one for me, I'm not going to give my philosophies away because I don't want Pep Guardiola to rob them or Klopp. But the main one for me is, as long as you work hard, put a shift in and come off the football field and say you gave your all, that's all I ask for. That's me as a manager and as a player. I did the same. I give it all, blood, sweat and tears. And as long as you give 100%, that would be enough for me.
Okay, and talking of your philosophy, like and moving back to your playing career, which coach has been the most influential in your career?
I think Peter Taylor. He was the Leicester manager. He signed me from, like, obviously amateur football in England to the Premier League. And I think you'll know him because he managed England for a little bit, and he was the one who gave David Beckham the captain's armband the first time. So for him to obviously pick players like David Beckham to play for England and pick me to play for his club football, I think he hasn't done too bad. Not that I've got Beckham's hairstyle, but I give it to him because his coaching and how he gave me a chance in professional football, I'll never forget him for that.
So like till now, that is your whatever you have played in your footballing career and also managed for a brief spell, which is the most proud moment that you ever had?
See, it's a tough one, this, because some people I look at it and go, was it my first league goal? And then, but it's till the latter years I've sat back and the last couple of months, and when we've been in lockdown, I've actually had a look over my career and what I've done and where I've been. And now when I look at it, I don't think I appreciated when I came on at Manchester United's ground at Old Trafford and made my league debut. I know it was only for 8 or so minutes, but I don't think I appreciated that as much at the time or the last couple of years till lately, when I've looked at it and think, you know what, I've actually made an appearance in the English Premier League against Manchester United, who were the best teams in the world at the time. They won Europe, they won the English Domestic League, and to play at Old Trafford, I think that's the highlight of my career. I know it wasn't a full game, but yeah, I think that's one of those I look back on and think no one can ever take that away from me. And growing up as a young lad wanting to play football, and whatever level that may be, I've actually played at the top level in England, which is quite surreal, really.
Definitely, and it will be a dream for many of them to do that, even, like with your experience, wealth of experience, in playing and a short experience in coaching, if you had to give any piece of advice to a young player coming up, what advice would you give that player?
I'd give one, never give up. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. I've had teams who have paid monies for me in the past tell me at 16, 17 that I was no good, not good enough. But yeah, a couple of years down the line, they've gone and paid money for me. So work hard, keep your feet on the ground and never give up. Because in life, you only get out what you put in.
Definitely. So I'll ask you one final question, Kevin, before we wrap up the interview. And this is quite a controversial one. And if you had to choose between the two, whom would you choose, Ronaldo or Messi?
Oof. See, it's a tough one for me, but I don't know. I think Messi is an all-round player. I think he's unbelievable technically and stuff, but I don't know. I think Ronaldo just pips it for me. I think not because I think for what he's done himself in the game. I know he's a selfish player and everyone says, well, everything he does this. I think his all-rounded game of headers, obviously left foot, right foot, he can take people on, he's big, he's strong. I think Messi has got everything, but just not enough. He has not come to England and done it where Ronaldo's been in England and done it. He's gone to Italy, he's done it in Spain, where Messi hasn't really gone to the other continents and tested himself against the best, where I think Ronaldo has, and to this day he's still scoring goals at Juve, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And he won the league yesterday, so kudos to him. So, on that note, Kevin, thank you so much for talking to me, and I wish you all the best for your playing career till wherever you play and whenever you play. And after that, your coaching career, hope you can even have Klopp coming to get your ideology. And take care, stay safe. Thank you for coming once again. Bye.
Thanks very much for being on. Stay safe. And if any of your clubs there are looking for a left winger, left midfield player, I'm available.
Yeah, I'll put your
Take
link
care.
down below.
Nice speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.